Hello. Hello. Hi, Fida. Can you hear me? Hello.
Are we good?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Global Excel Bootcamp. This is HOFT Developers, and we'll be sharing what we are doing and around Excel inclusions in Nigeria and across Africa. Hey, Fida, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Do you want to do an introduction about yourself?
All right. Good day, everyone. My name is Faida Abdusalam, and I'm an Excel enthusiast. I started learning about Excel just last year. Uh, yeah. Okay.
Hey, Fida. Nice to have you back. Hello? It seems you're muted.
Okay, I can hear you.
Good, good, good. So, do you want to give a brief introduction about yourself?
Okay, my name is Faidat Absalam, and I'm still a beginner in this Excel field. I currently work as a STEM instructor, and also I advocate for females in Excel.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Thank you.
Nice, cool. Ahmed, are you with us? So again, welcome to the Global XR conference. This is the HOFT Developers session, and here we talk about what we are doing at HOFT Developers, how we leverage XR, WebXR, all the technology in between, and I'm the one you're seeing in Outspace, that is in the virtual space. And with us here, we have Faida, who is on our XL team. And then you have Ahmed, who does the business side of OFT. Yes, nice to have you guys here.
Hi everyone. Can
Hi,
you guys hear
Ahmed.
me?
Welcome. Yes,
Cool.
All right.
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great.
Cool. Yes,
All
Ahmed,
right,
do you
Hamid.
want to do
Can Hamid?
an introduction about
We can
yourself?
hear you, Ahmed.
Okay, Hamid. I didn't get a question. Can you ask that again?
Do you want to do an introduction about yourself?
Uh, um. Okay, so my name is Ahmed. I think, as earlier said, um, a couple of interests. But in general, I'm very much interested in technology and its impacts. A lot of potential for different kinds of emerging technologies for young people, especially the potential that learning these skills can have on the lives of people in terms of the ability to get very, very well paying employment and also be able to build technologies that can change lives. So, for of course, I am part of the HOFT team too. And in the HOFT team, I'm generally in charge of the admin stuff, ensuring that the community is running the way it should run. So it's great to be here today to talk a bit about XR with Hamid. Hamid, of course, is the XR whiz on the Hoft team too. So it's quite interesting to be having this conversation this afternoon.
Ooh, nice to meet you, Ahmed and Faida. Now let's dive into OFT. And I can see. So yes, Ahmed, you want to talk about what OFT is? What is the vision and mission of OFT? We have guys out here, watching this show live, and then they are really eager to jump into XR, right? So what is OFT, and how does OFT tie into that for them?
Okay, so since we're talking about XR, extended realities for one, I mean, I think most people have probably heard about extended realities before, and for the fact that we are at like the Global XR conference, it's definitely like this great space to talk about what HOFT does, because HOFT is just a community of young people, or a community of people trying to ensure that other young people are able to get access to the necessary information and knowledge about emerging technologies like XR, which seem rather new or like novel, and which are not like necessarily well established versus other technologies. So basically, as HOFT, the community that HOFT is, what we try to do is to ensure that we're able to get young people to understand these technologies, give them like a basic understanding of how it works, basic skills, allow them to be able to relate with other people that are learning, and also be able to basically try their hands out on different kinds of projects and build their portfolios. To basically help them get started. And so that's what HOFT is like in a quick nutshell. Of course, yeah. So we generally run cohorts from time to time. So every year we have like groups of young people that are working with us, learning this particular skills across different areas like extended realities, data science, user interface design, and Android development. And yeah, so once we're done with that, we get into like projects and work, try our hands on a couple of things. We also do a bit of development work for corporates, but that's like another side of what HOFT is. But I think that's just in summary.
Thank you, Ahmed.
And
Um, yep. So Faida, you are on the off team.
I would,
You've been on this Excel track for close to 4 months now. So do you want to just like narrow down what XR is? You have people watching this live event and trying to get into XR. So do you want to talk about that?
Yes. Okay, so I'm currently in the cohort that is being hosted by OFT. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. Extended reality is just like when we are talking about immersion, full immersion.
I guess we
we
lost
seem to have lost her.
I lost Freda there. So yeah, I mean I think I could go, so there we go. So yes, so
But then
narrow down
I think I would, yeah, exactly. I would definitely want to turn. I want to turn the tables around and ask you, since, of course, I know that you're very much into XR Meet, and I would just like you to talk about, just give the quickest, most basic summary of what extended realities is for like the total novice who is just hearing about it for the first time.
yes. So again, I would say what XR is what you can see live on the screen, right? So you can see me there, and then you can see somebody else, just walking around, and that's just like a big definition of what XR is. So extended reality is a family name. Um, called extended reality, and it houses things like virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. Right. So I'm currently in alt space, which is a virtual reality space, and I can see me over there, the Kowi currently waving, at the camera, moving around. Right. We are hanging out there, having a fantastic time, having some social experience, and this is virtual reality. We have augmented reality, which is what you get to see most times, which is your Facebook filter, the Snapchat filter, and then we have mixed reality, which is similar, which is close to what we see, in the industry.
Hi, can the other guy hear us? Kowi, can you hear us?
Hey, Kowi, can you hear us? Let me check that.
Okay, I guess not. But so how this definitely works is that you can come together into this virtual space and maybe like do some work. Or what is like the application of these kinds of things?
I think I could throw a question to them. So, hey, Kowi, if you can hear us, can you come closer to the camera and just say some stuff? Let's see if that works. But I'm definitely sure they can hear us. Mhm. Yeah. Can you wave at the camera? Just wave. Yeah, okay. See, it's working. Oh, yep. And that's it.
Okay. It seems like his hands are like detached from his body. But yeah, great stuff. Pfizer, I think Pfizer is back on the call. I don't know if Pfizer wants to say one or two things about what XR is all about, especially in terms of like what it's like from like the very rudimentary beginner perspective.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I started earlier like XR is just like an umbrella encompassing a lot of things like AR, VR, and MR. And by AR, I mean the augmented reality. VR, we're talking about virtual reality, which is an example of what is going on here. And also, we have the mixed reality. So, for the augmented reality, that's when we are talking about overlaying a digital content onto our real world. Then by virtual reality, that you are taking yourself out of this real world into a digital space and then interact with digital content there. And by MR, we were talking about the mixture of the two, like when you have a blend of both AR and VR all together. So that's just like a summary of what extended reality means as a whole.
All right,
Cool.
sounds great. Sounds definitely exciting. So I would think that I'll probably want to ask Hamid a couple of questions, and these are more like ecosystem questions in general. Like, how would you describe the extended reality space in Nigeria? Currently where it is at, how much development is it seeing? What are like the big players? What is it being used for? I don't know. Maybe just give like a quick scope of what the Nigerian XR space looks like.
Yeah, I mean, again, really, really, great question there, Ahmed. I would say the XL space in Nigeria, we've seen some very key players, which I'll be mentioning now, and then we've seen some very fantastic use case. One of the very first use case that come to my head every time I mention XR in Nigeria is I mentioned Telo, right? So there's this furniture company in Nigeria, and what they do is they sell furnitures, right? Very fantastic furnitures. And on their website, they've embedded this AR feature. So meaning that anyone that wants to purchase that chair, can just easily try out, that furniture in his or her space before they make a purchase. Then moving to the likes of Tenny's Wonderland album. So Tenny is, a Nigerian musical artist that launched a Wonderland album earlier this year in VR. So yes, and then you also had the likes of the Marriott hotels too. Want to launch the Keja Hotel, they also had like like an AR experience. So yes, I would say XI Nigeria is moving. We are seeing some guys, now coming in and doing some very, very fantastic stuff. And I'm sure in the next couple of years we'll get to see more use cases that we can talk about also.
Definitely great. Great to hear that all of that is happening, and excited about what is happening, like what is going to come up in the next couple of days. I think I'll probably want to ask Faiza another question in terms of like what has the journey been like for her in starting as a beginner, maybe earlier this year or maybe before then, and how the journey has been basically from that point starting out to now, and how your skills have improved.
Okay, let me give you a little short story. When I learned about the first day I heard about this XR or VR, that was like around towards the end of last year. So I saw a post about the need for intern for one program like that. So I didn't know anything about it. They said they needed developers, artists, and so on. They listed them. So I didn't know anything about AR, VR, XR, but I just had to open it because I'm an artist somehow. Then I got into the program. It was then I started learning about okay what XR really means, what AR means, the differences. Then I discovered that this is like a very interesting field. So I started looking for people in that field I can connect with so that they will bring me on board. That's how I got to meet Ahmed, Arume, and Co. So from there, we had a boot camp for some period of time where I started learning about Unity, C Sharp, 3D, like that. So from there, that was how my knowledge of XR started. Then I started doing some self learning, researching, and getting to know more people that are um, working in this field. So that's just it, like how I started. So it's been an awesome journey, really, because comparing my knowledge from last year to now, I can say that okay, I've really, really improved because at first I don't really know anything about C Sharp. I code with Python, so I started learning about C Sharp and started building some little games by myself. So that's just the journey. It's been an awesome ride, actually.
Very. This is
Awesome.
sorry. I was muted. So that's awesome and great to hear. I have another question, a follow up question, which I'd like you to answer, and which I would also like Ami to answer after. So this is the question is more like why should anybody want to learn XR? So I mean, I would like you to answer that, and then also Hamid, if you could probably answer that question too. Like, why should anyone be interested in learning extended realities?
Because it's the future. That's the reason. Like because it's the future.
Mm,
You have to learn
I
all
mean,
because
right.
you
that
have
was
to know
coming
about
actually.
it.
I mean, like I love the way Fida put it there. He just said, it's the future, and I think like that's the right answer. And like I probably can't even like. I mean, if I want to like talk on that, it just be me expatiating because we are starting to see the world moving more into this kind of like a metaverse focused era with the likes of Facebook switching their name from Facebook to Meta, the likes of Google, Apple, and Microsoft focusing more on this kind of immersive technologies, likes of Unity. A lot of like these top companies, a lot of startup are coming in, a lot of push to say that what we want to move from this static web, into this future, more connected kind of web experience, right? And really, to build that kind of immersive experience, you need skills tailoring into Excel. So if you are in Excel now, you have this skill that can get you ready for the future.
Yeah, so all that is like great, and it's great to hear. So in terms of also another question for Hamid, how do you think the future is going to change, or how do you think the future is going to be different because of extended realities from what we know today?
Now, I think for me, when I look at it, one of the things that I really consider about the future is I say, okay, how are we sort of like interacting with the way like for example, right? Kowi currently, which is in alt space, is currently in Kwara State. I'm currently in Lagos State, right? If I needed to meet Kowi in quotes, I'd have had to like spend like commute 6 hours, 8 hours to get to Kwara State to meet him. But now, I mean, we can meet we can meet virtually in a space. We have avatars, we can communicate, we're embodied in something, right? So when I look at the future of communication, the future of networking, I feel like that's really where the future is. Where the future is sort of like tilted towards. If I can give you a more immersive experience, if I can give you a more engaging experience, I think people would actually love that and they would want to do it. And also back again, I mean, I want to now flip this back to you, right? So we've talked a lot about XR, what XR is, but really, I mean, this is like an oft session, right? So I just want to flip it back to you as a business person in oft. How is oft helping to solve this problem, right? How are we like upskilling people in Excel?
Well, I think what we need to understand first is because of first and foremost, HOFT is um, an organization that works in Nigeria, very Africa focused to start with. But secondly, we need to understand the nature of the skills that we're talking about here. As you rightly mentioned, XR is something that is pretty much the future, very new. Not very many people know a lot about it. I mean, relatively versus other technologies like traditional web development or design or something else. So it's something that it's really still on the front burner, like a frontier skill. So basically making that access, like those skills, those knowledge very accessible to young people is something that is some helps to achieve because at the end of the day, these kind of skills are skills that like that eventually can fetch people a lot of compensation based on the fact that eventually they're going to be in very high demand, and because of the very relatively few people that have a good amount of familiarity with these skills, they could eventually end up earning a lot more than people doing other things. So in terms of making that information available, helping people to get take that first few steps in this field, and giving them that direct one-to-one mentoring learning opportunity. That's one space where HOFT is really playing. And even though right now our class sizes are pretty small, looking at maybe the next couple of years ahead, we intend to upskill this and be able to reach out to a lot more young people. We also have some other initiatives that we also run, like the Design Challenge, that actually helps young people come together and work on stuff, build projects, and basically have like hackathons whereby we can, look at different challenges and see how we can solve them. So HOFT as an organization in terms of like achieves impact in various forms. First in the young people who are gonna help upskill, but also indirectly on the community and the country based on whatever economic gains would come in from those people who have gained those skills. So the projects that they are going to work on, which are going to have a lot of multiplier effects on the country, and a lot of things basically. So I think Hoft's work is really important in that space, and we're definitely looking at how we can do more in more efficient manners in the years ahead.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And also again, Faida, I know that you're currently on the Excel track. You've had experience, as an instructor, you've had experience, leading communities, right? So Ahmed just mentioned, what OFT is, that we train people to learn Excel. So you that are currently on the Excel track, can you just like share with people, our viewers currently, um, how have that process been like for you? How was just your experience? Let's hear from you.
You mean my experience with OFT, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, okay. Um, Let me start with, okay. In the XR section where I am, we have like a session whereby we do like instructor-led training, like, and then we meet weekly to discuss about the challenges that we are having, the kind of blockers we have, and also we do training on Saturday. So starting from when I we started, from when we started, we have like a session, like for every week we have a program whereby we learn for that week, and then we have assignments to do. We also have like a group whereby we can discuss whatever challenges we have and how to network with other of our colleagues. So it has been kind of seamless. Everything is just kind of perfect to me because comparing this off boot camp that I am with other boot camps that I've attended, I feel that this one is more preferred to me because it has this a kind of community that you can easily interact with whenever you have issues, and they will get your challenges solved at this snap. So it's been a good ride with Oft. I love the way they program their stuff, the schedules and everything to almost meet everybody's needs. So
Nice, nice, very nice. Yeah, again, so
Yes.
as a pioneer in this field now, again, I'll call you a pioneer because I feel like you've been doing very, very cool stuff in XR already. So again, you started as a newbie in XR, and now you can do some really, really badass stuff already with XR. So again, to the newbies that are currently watching you, what kind of learning paths would you suggest for them? Like, how can they also get into XR and be like you too?
the first determination, they need to be determined that okay, this is what I want to do. That's like the first thing. Everybody now is after, okay, I just want to make money, I just want to make money, I just want to make money. Nobody, they just need to focus on, okay, I really want to acquire this skill. So you need to be determined first, like, okay, this is what I want to do, and you are dedicating your time and everything you need to dedicate to achieve that. So first thing is to learn about programming. One, to me, you need to understand about programming, specifically C sharp or C++. Then, before you dive into Unity, if you know like about 3D, is an added advantage to me. If you know about it, it's added advantage. But the most important thing is to learn about programming. Then, before you start working with the IDE, yeah, the game engine like Unity and Unreal.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So Ahmed, back
Yeah.
to you. So again, I mean, so
Yeah. I mean, were you
looking
going to
at,
say something?
yeah, exactly. I mean, so looking at what Oft is currently doing, what challenges? Again, I think this is really something that is cool. That I mean, all of us can actually talk about it on this call. What do you think is the challenge? Facing people in XR again. I want you to look at it, from the Oft perspective. So Oft wants to scale, let's say 100 people. So what are the challenges that Oft is facing? At the same time, I also look at it, from a global point of view for Nigeria. So yeah.
All right. So I'll be very honest. All right. I think challenges health face, generally speaking, some of them, of course, are uniquely Nigerian problems. Others may be problems that are faced by a more general spectrum of just problems with people who are starting to learn technology. So I'll just get into it really quickly. First and foremost, so in Nigeria, you probably have a lot of people who want to learn, who would like to learn if they could. Aside having that interest, you now start looking at, okay, what about things that they need to learn? Right now, unfortunately, if you want to learn XR or any of the skills that we currently push, you definitely have to have a computer. You definitely need to have like some form of access to internet because our classes are like virtual most of the time. They're not physical classes. You definitely need to have the time. So, looking at just the basics first, utilities, right? Having access to like a computer of like sufficient capacity, having the resources to have like lights and internet to be able to attend all those classes, and then also having the time to dedicate in terms of like maybe putting time aside from work, from school, whatever it is. So that those basics first, and are not necessarily. So maybe you have like 100, or maybe 100 people who want to learn. By the time you put in those first three factors, you probably have like 50 people left who can participate. And even though these at the end of the day, we'll still have like a lot of people who can possibly participate who don't still get in. There's still that limitation factor that we need to like acknowledge that is there. Once that all that is said and done, we now come into like individual like and here I'm talking about difficulties of working with like people generally, like from a health perspective. So people have like different schedules you need to work on. So I mean, in general, you have to like look around how you can get the whole class to move along. And people also have like different receptive capabilities. So some people move very fast, some people move very slowly, and eventually you want to move up ahead the whole cohort together all at once. So that challenge is definitely there in terms of ensuring that you can carry along everybody in the class. But also there's also like the time constraints based on from the instructor's perspective, also from like the student's perspective and all. So these are like some of the couple of challenges that we're facing, and I think of course some of these things would resolve themselves naturally over time. Some of them would continue to be problems. Some of them maybe will be solved by maybe working smarter around technologies, maybe using learning management systems. But at the end of the day, it's not very easy to replace that one-on-one, hand-to-hand talk, learning system where you can easily reach out to an instructor when you have a problem. So, and that's something that we are very proud of in HOFT, and we try to continuously do. And hence, this is one of the limitations in scaling the instruction to a larger number of people. But I think in the next couple of maybe weeks and months, things are going to change, and we should be able to optimize what we're doing to be more efficient to reach out to more people.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Again, so again, back to you, Faida. As a developer currently, what would you say is like one of your biggest challenge? Again, it could be one, but I mean, you could have said like span out to like talk about two, three, four, five.
I have to. Okay, so the first one is laptop, and the second one is hardware, like the VR headset. So talking about the laptop, me personally, I have challenge of my laptop is not a gaming laptop, and to work with Excel to develop stuff on Excel, you need a laptop that has a graphics card, and that's I'm not having it. So that's like my number one challenge. And the two challenge is about the VR headset. To really enjoy creating stuff for XR, you need that VR headset to at least know what you're doing, experience it, and have fun with it. But without that, your learning might be a little bit not really smooth. You like now I have like the Google Cardboard, but then experiencing VR with Google Cardboard is not like having the headset, they have VR headset like Oculus Quest on its own. So that's like the bit of challenge that I'm having. Those two. The laptop, having a good laptop, a gaming laptop, and the headset.
Awesome, awesome. And also, if you're watching us and you have questions, for us at Of Developers, feel free to post your comments, and of course, we'll make sure that we answer your question. And also, back to what Faida said again. Personally, I also like think those two are also like one of the major challenges for people starting in XR. The first one is um, laptop, right? And the second one is VR gadget. Again, so now I'm going to talk more broadly for Nigeria, right? Because of the way the exchange rate is currently now, you get to buy some of these things in dollars outside. And then by the time you bring it back and then you want to like do the normal exchange rate for it, again, in most countries in Africa, you get to spend, a ton of your money on some of these things. And because of accessibility issue, then that becomes an issue, for developers trying to build stuff here in Nigeria, even across Africa. Again, and the same thing also goes for laptop, right? You want to get a gaming laptop, you probably want to budget $1,000+ to get like a very solid system. And then by the time you convert that money to your local currency, that's like a huge ton of stuff expenses that you'll be spending. So yeah, I think we have time to again demo a little bit of what we've built at Of Developers. So over the course of a year, we developed a virtual workshop that runs on the web, and the goal of this application was to make access for machine enthusiasts or even engineering students to access some of these machines on their workshop. So we'll run a demo for it to show you guys, what it looked like, and then we'll come back to our panel session again. We'll see this, we'll discuss about it, and then we'll round up the session. Right, cool. So let me share my screen.
Hi, Ahmed.
Yeah, nice. The screen is visible, right?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. So yes, so we have this workshop that we developed, and then the goal of it was how can we get you know Nigerians that schools do not have access to some of these machines. So how can we project these machines on the web, also for AR, and make it accessible to anyone just via the link. So we have a series of machines. We have from the center lathe to the CNC lathe to the drilling machine, to the milling machine. And then the goal of it, I can show the CNC lathe is if I click more details, you get to pop out this 3D screen where you can actually see that machine, in view. You get to, show the labels so people get to like see, okay, what makes up this machine, right? And you can see if I click on it, you can see this is tail stock, this is the dead center, this is the two turrets, this is the chalk, and in quotes like just the whole part of the machine. You also get to run simulation. So again, just to see, okay, what does that operating principle looks like for that machine, right? And this would obviously aid, students that do not have access to these machines to like see, okay, this is how this machine operates, and can guide them, into doing well in school and for examination. So majorly we added like comes with the simulation, it comes with the labels, and also it's also come with the exploded view. So you have to like see, okay, these are the parts that makes up that machine. And and similar way, we also have like the same process for most of the machines. Likewise for the daily machine, where you can run a simulation to like see in quotes, how does that stuff look like. You also get to like see some of the labels for it, which is okay, the chalk, this is the edge, and likewise, you can also like do the exploded view to see all the same parts. So we've done this for the major six machines that you get to see in engineering, which is from the lathe to the drilling machine to the milling machine, and also even to the robotic arm, where people can sort of like see how that process operates. So again, this application is currently open out to anyone that wants to try it out, and you can try it at workshop.offdevelopers.com. We're posting that in the comment section, so anyone can go ahead and check it out. So yes, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then we'll move back to the panel session and discuss about it.
So, Amit, question. My question is this: what exactly are like top apps, tools, any other?
It seems we lost Ahmed there.
So, Ahmed, can you give us like a brief of the bodies in Nigeria that are working on this XR that are in XR space?
Yes. So I mean, as of now, we are starting to see a lot of organizations. Again. So now, when you mean bodies, do you mean like communities pushing XR, or do you mean like companies generally?
Organize both companies and the community.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So when it comes to terms of community, we're seeing like I think we have the VR AR Association, which is like a global association for VR AR. The core focus for the VR association is really more into marketing and getting companies out there. So if you're a company that are looking at getting that want to be known that you're doing stuff relating to AR VR, then the VR AR Association um will be for you. Again, if you want to ask questions, feel free to post it in the chat. We'll see it here and we would answer your question. And then we have the likes of the ALV Africa, which is championed by Mr. Toredi. They are really doing a good work, across Africa. There's also Extend Reality that I think just launched sometimes this month or late last month. So again, we are seeing some communities already like doing good stuff already, and pushing the awareness. For companies, of course, we have there was this report that came out, which is the VR AR ecosystem report, and the report contains a lot of companies in Africa, also including Nigeria, that are leveraging XR. So the report is a great place to go if you're trying to like see companies doing XR. But off the top of my head, I would say the likes of uh, Taylor, you have Alpha and Nimbus, um, you have Quadron Studios, of course, you have Microsoft that like doing a really cool stuff with the mesh in the lab here in Lagos, and again, a ton of other companies. Yeah, cool stuff. So yeah, we lost Fida and Ahmed, so waiting for them to come back.
I don't think you really lost me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Ahmed. Yeah, you're back now.
Yeah. So I was here, but I thought maybe I had like network issues earlier, so I just decided to like hear you out. Are you? Did you finish answering the question?
Yes, I did. I did.
Awesome, great. I have another question, like a follow up question for you on that. I just wanted to know, and basically, what are the main tools that you use in XR development? Talking about building like a space like the one you're currently in, or maybe a space like the AR workshop that you just demoed for us. How do you come from like the beginning, where that idea comes to like the finished product? Could you just tell us what exactly that's like?
Yeah, cool. So again, when it comes to, when it comes to building air solution, again XR solution now, encompassing both VR, AR, MR, I would say the first thing you want to start with is framework, right? So that now we have two ways where we go about building some of the solutions. We have the web version and then we have the native version. So native includes am I building straight, into a mobile device or into like a PC, just straight into a device, either a PC or it's a mobile device. And then we have the web version, which is what we just showed now, which is okay, um I send you a link and then you can access that certain solution. So again, if you're going for the native part, some of the tools you'll be using would be Unity or Unreal Engine, and these are game engines, that help combine 3D assets with coding logic to build things um up. Then you may also need experience with 3D modeling toolkits like Autodesk Maya, like 3D Max to build things. Now, if I'm moving towards the web aspect, which is more for accessibility, rather than sending people files to install on their system, you can just give them a link and then boom, instantly they get into the experience. For that, we work closely with you see probably JavaScript, and then you can decide maybe you want to use HTML, CSS, raw, or then you want to like use tools like Vue or React to build it. And then there's also something we call the WebXR API, which is like an API that was abstracted, that was again abstracted, built on top of WebGL, and that's like the graphical engine that run on most browser. Again, if you want to run 3D experiences on any device, you need a graphics you need a graphic system for it. So for the web is WebGL that does all those processes. So yes, so it depends how you're going about it. If you're going for native, you use tools like Unity and Unreal. If you're going for web, you use majorly JavaScript and type it and do what you want to do.
All right,
Cool.
amazing, amazing. Sorry about that. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So, Faida, I just wanted to ask, like, as a beginner in the past 3, 4 months, 5, 6 months, or I don't know how long you've been, you could tell us how long you've been like getting familiar with the XR. Which of these tools have you familiarized yourself with, and how long did it typically take you to get to where you are now?
Okay, I use Unity, and okay, Unity to me is straightforward because I got a tutorial that really explained what the whole interface is like. Then that's when I started. So I've been using Unity. I've never touched Unreal before. Just recently, I wanted to try something with Unreal, but then because of graphics card issues that I mentioned earlier, it couldn't work on my laptop. So more like I'm stuck with Unity. So I've been using Unity for let's say close to a year now. Yeah, so close to a year now.
All right, great. So, I mean, I have maybe one or two things I probably would still want to ask, but before I do that, I just wanted to know, like, Ahmed, since like you've had like maybe 1 or 2 years experience, or maybe three, or maybe five, maybe six, working in with XR, and maybe working within organizations that use XR, what would you say has been like your major takeaway from this in terms of what advice could you give to someone who is starting off today, like right now? Somebody who is starting off right now, maybe a Pfizer, or maybe somebody who is not even up to Pfizer, who is hearing about XR for the very first time. What advice do you have to give to that person in terms of, okay, how do I get up into this field? How do I learn fast? What shortcuts can I take and all that stuff like that?
Nice. Thank you, Ahmed. Again, I would say one is persistence, right? So to build stuff, you need experience, right? And again, no matter the amount of tutorials you do, stuff you do, you need to actually like do actual work to get those experience. So one of the things I also like advise people that are trying to start is try and get into internship positions. Again, there are like a lot of companies that will actually take you as an XR intern, saying the fact that you're quite good, you've acquired a little bit of the knowledge, and then you're trying to jump into the industry. So I'll say the advice is to be persistent, right? You need to first build your experience doing core projects, right? So look for internship positions that you can get into one. And then the second one would be to work on a lot of side projects, right? Side projects are really some of the things that would also build your experience. So beyond what you do in your 9 to 5 or your internship or your training, what other projects can you do? I mean, like for someone like me, I could be going somewhere and I could just see, like, one that I did was I was doing something and I felt like, okay, this process felt, why not, spice it up. An example of that was, so most time when I get to go to work, right, I sort of like get to figure out, what kind of dress do I want to wear, right? In every day, Monday to Friday, figure out what will I wear. And I feel like, okay, why not just like make this thing look more cool? Then what I did was I designed like a 3D avatar, that I can view in AR. And then what it does for me is every morning it just randomizes some clothes for me based on what I inputted, and then it just wears that stuff on my avatar. And I'm like, okay, I want to wear this shirt today. So I don't get to think. So again, very fun stuff, but I feel like you want to like start working on side projects. Yeah.
Yeah, so internships and side projects, and yeah, so great
Yeah,
advice there. And
and get
Pfizer, I'm
mentors.
gonna be
Get mentors. I forgot to add that one.
okay. Mentorship. Okay, so Pfizer, I'm gonna be throwing the same question to you. Around what exactly do you think is great advice for somebody who's just starting out in XR, and who is just thinking about what exactly is the best way to go about this thing that's in front of me.
Focus. I mean, I said it all. Like you need to be persistent, and then you need to have like a focus and do one thing at a time. Everybody is like a lot of people want to be here and be there without one thing they are focusing on. So if you have a focus, like okay, this is what I want to achieve within this period, that will really help you a lot. So have a clear understanding of what you want to achieve and be persistent at it. So
Great, thank you very much, Faisal. So I think Ahmed, I have one last question for you. And this is in terms of like the XR ecosystem in Nigeria, the XR space. What do you feel like the potential is for the next couple of years for XR in Nigeria? And what are the major things you're looking forward to seeing in Nigeria, XR related? Hi, Ahmed, can you hear me?
I think it's
Okay, I think that Ahmed
okay.
might have
Let's hold on.
dropped off the call.
Yeah,
Sorry. Okay,
yeah. I said it
great.
might be
So
out of.
so then I'll pose the last question to you, Faida. Okay, seems like Ahmed is back, but Ahmed, can you hear us? Can you confirm if you can hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Seems like you had a bit of a challenge just now because we lost you for a few seconds.
Yes. Just trying to move around. This is off. This is space. Saying hi to everyone. And then, yep, I'm good.
So just before you left, I was asking like I guess my final question, and which is more around what exactly do you think the about the XR ecosystem in Nigeria looking forward, maybe to the next couple of years, 4 or 5 years ahead of now? What are you looking forward to? What are you excited about? And what do you hope to see in the ecosystem in the next couple of years?
Actually, I mean, before I answer that, there was a question that came in, you know, not via the chat, but came in, via our other communication channel. And then, someone said, I get this question actually directly to you, Ahmed, right? He said, um, okay, I think it was actually more directed towards me. So the person was asking, that how did I get started in XR? What was my source of inspiration? Because when I was in XR, XR was not even in the map at that time in Nigeria. Oh wow, that sounds like a very nice question that I could answer. So yes. So again, nice question. I would say, for me, I came from a robotics, background, right? And for robotics, we sort of like build control panel, control systems, and we design simulators. You want to like drive a virtual stuff, design simulator for it. So then got to use Unity, and the way Unity works was that Unity is a little bit cross-platforming. That beyond cross-platform is like a multi-platform tool. So if you get to use Unity to develop game, you can at the same time you can jump into movie making, XR, and a lot of like other stuff, right? So we started with Unity, and then I saw some very cool stuff with XR from some mentors. Then I feel like, okay, I guess I want to jump into this, and I started my journey with Unity, and I find myself here now. So yes, Unity was the key for me. Nice. So yeah, Ahmed. Now back to your question. Um, can you recap on that again?
Yes, my question is more like looking at the Nigerian ecosystem, and we have to do this really quickly because time is about fast spent. But looking at the Nigerian ecosystem and the next 5 years, what do you think you're excited about? What do you hope to see in the near future in Nigeria,
I said for
especially with
me,
respect to the XR ecosystem?
one, I want to see a lot of developers, because I feel the way we can sort of like grow this our XL community in Nigeria in code would be if we have more guys doing stuff in that space, right? And if I look at what the amount of developers we had in Nigeria, 2 years ago, and then compare it to what we have now, I'll say it has improved. So in the next 5 years, hopefully we can get to see more developers. At the same time, can we build more triple stuff? So when you look at some of the best experiences, for example, now in XR, maybe games or not, they're not really like African centric. They're not really Africa centered. So can we see a triple A VR game or a triple A VR content that is coming from Africa and is being played worldwide, right? And as we start to like dive more into the metaverse and a lot of people jumping into it, can we see an African focused metaverse? Just I saw what I'm thinking, and I think we should get there, right? Because we have the numbers and the talent are already booming. We have so like Fido already that's is already doing some very fantastic stuff already with XR.
All right. So, what about
Nice.
you, Faida? What do you want to see in the next couple of years for XR in Nigeria?
One, I want to see more females in the field because, like, generally, when it comes to programming, females are always, let me say, behind. So, I want to see more females venturing into this space because it's one interesting space that I would really love to have more people on it.
All right, that's great to hear. So, I mean, I'm also joining you guys with the hopes for a lot more people coming into this space, especially a lot more women. I'm also really excited about seeing an Africa centric narrative in the future of the metaverse, and a whole lot of other expectations. I'm really excited about the young people who are going to get into this space and build amazing stuff. So I think just we're just at the nick of time. I don't know if there are a couple of things anybody else wants to add before we close, but yeah, that's about I think as much as we can take.
Yeah, I
Hello.
mean, not for but I think another question came in, and the person was asking, when will our next boot camp be? So again, subscribe to our social media pages, follow us on our social media pages. We'll always like post when it will be. You can also go to our website, hoftdevelopers.com, subscribe, and we always do our normal like e-blast. So you get an email when it's time for the next bootcamp training session. Yeah, beyond that, again, it was nice talking to Hamed, the business guy at Oft, doing good stuff. Nice talking with Fida, an XL dev. with OFT doing really, really fantastic stuff. Again, and also a female, and can also like do very nice coding stuff. So again, very nice. And of course, me, I lead the XL team at OFT, and yeah, it was really nice talking with everyone. And see you guys later.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ahmed, for your time. Thank you to Faida also for making our time to obviously attend. And I think it's amazing what's going to happen in the next couple of years. I'm very happy to be here and to be part of this. And thank you very much, everyone who's watching. And I just got like a comment, and in my mind, I wasn't really expecting that. But thank you very much, guys, for watching. So yeah, I
Yeah,
guess we'll
Friday.
see ourselves
Any
later.
last word for us before we go? Any last word? You're muted. Yeah. Oh, are you there? You're muted.
Okay, yes, like just focus, everything will be fine. Stay good, stay happy, always.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for joining us at the Global XR conference.